Hello friends, hope you are doing good and safe. Welcome to my channel Mule API World. My name is Radhesham Pandit and today I am going to explain about the different file operations in Mule 4. Okay, so let's move to the Anypoint Studio and let me create one project, new Mule project, and we can give name as a file operation. Okay, file operation and then finished. Okay, so our application is created file operation, and here we can create one global config file. Go to the like mail configuration file, global config. Okay, so basically global config which we are creating for separate out all the configurations like http listener file operation, whatever which we are using, that we can separate out in global config file. So let me move to the file operation. Let me take one scheduler. Okay, so scheduler basically which we are using if there is any like requirement which we have to like run the job in a specific time. So that time we can use as a scheduler. Like let's say we have to run the job every 10 minutes or like every day, at some time, or like bi-weekly, weekly or monthly, whatever. So we can set it here. So basically there are two options in the scheduler. One is the fixed frequency and second one is the cron expression. So if you are using the fixed frequency, then you can just set it as a frequency, like let's say uh, 10. Okay, and unit is like there are different options like days, hours, millisecond, minutes and seconds. So let me set as a like 10 minutes. Okay, so this job will run every 10 minutes. This is a scheduler, and let me take the file operation. So basically we have a multiple file operations. If you see here, that copy, create directory, delete, list, move, and on new or update file, read, rename, and write. And this is the FTP on new or updated file, and SFTP on new or updated file. So I'll cover this FTP and SFTP after this one in the next lecture, and then we'll like explain the what the difference between these two. Okay, so for now let me just first let me move to the like read file operation. Okay, and before that let me move to the logger here, and let me set the logger as a like uh, request on start job. Okay, and then file operation. So basically we have to create some configuration. No need, I don't want to create here in the global elements, that I want to create in the separate XML file. So that's what I have created global config XML. So here I can go in the global elements and go to create and file. Okay, so just select file config and then okay. So basically this file config I have created, and this file config I am going to use in here. So if you go read and just I can select as a file config. Okay, and next is like file path. So where I have to read the file, basically that path we have to given. So let me go to the download basically. Okay, and from downloads I can like I can reach out or like whatever. Let me just create one folder here. Acha, input. Okay, and copy, go here, paste it. Okay, input forward slash, and I have to give the file name basically. So let me give the let's user details dot csv. Okay, So this is my input file which I'm going to read. And my next operation is like, let me just pull the logger again, and let's say as file read C successfully. Why I'm keeping logger? Because like logger is a play important role in our application. Let's say if you have deployed this application to the cloud hub to an any like cloud hub, so that time if there is any issue in the particular application, so for the tracking and tracing purposes we can use this logger. So in logger we have different options like debug, error, input, trace, and warning. So basically, if when you are giving a info error and the warning, this is the default. We can set it. And if you want to enable the debug, then you have to define some define some property in the properties file basically. So for now, just I'm taking as a info. And there is the conditions not conditions, but it's a best practice we can say. So whenever you are going to print some data, so that time you can use as a debug mode, not the info, for the good practice. And for only to show the in the logs, that time you can go for the info. That is the default option. Okay. And let me move to the another operation that is called the write file. Okay. So this is the right. And if you see here, again I can use the same config connector. And then here path, I need to give the path. So let me create one more folder here called output. Output. Okay. And let me give this output here. And I want to give some file name which is going to generate, which is I'm going to write. So let's details dot CSV. Okay, that file will going to generate as a CSV and payload. But what let's say I have to read some information, employee information, and then I have to write it here. So before that, whatever data I'm going to read, that I have to do some transformation, right? To write. So if there is any business logic, so if you see there are multiple data, multiple fields if you are receiving from the file, and but the business requirement is like you have to write few of the fields only and few of the data only. That time you can use the transformation message, that is transforming input to output as as per the requirement. So let me just put it as a application slash JSON as a output. And here let me so basically let me create one CSV file basically. Okay, so I think I have already CSV file. Let's say user details. Let me open it as a notepad. Okay, so this is the CSV file which I'm going to read, and then same file I have data I'm going to write into the output folder. So I have already defined as a CSV the ID, name, salary, and let's keep as address and email. Okay, and this is the my ID, this is name, the address, and the email ID. So this is my input file. So let me move this input file to my input folder. Okay, here. So now I'm going here, and I have to I'm not going to write the same thing. So just I'm changing the column name. So let's say employee ID and payload. Payload is basically whatever data I got from the read operation, that is called the payload. And payload dot what is my employer ID. Let me open it. See, this is the CSV file, this is my ID. Okay, and payload.id I'm like reading and setting it to the employee ID, comma, employee name. Okay, payload dot what is the field name, name. Okay, then name. Next is employee address. Okay, payload dot address. Okay, and then employee email, employee email, and payload dot email. Okay, so this my mapping is done. uh, okay, now second, what is this, id, name, address, and email. Okay, so okay, fine, and this is the right. Okay, let me debug it. Let me see if the application is deployed or not. Let me put the debugger point here. Okay, so my application got deployed and it's come to here. And let me go to the, so I have already placed my input file here as a user details, and output is the blank. Okay, so I'm going to write the CSV file in output folder. So let me go to next. Okay, let me see. So I got the data. If you see here, I got whatever the data in my input file I received here as a payload. Okay, and if you want, like let's say if you want to debug it as a in running mode, so what you can do, simply just you can copy and go here and just check what you have, the script you have written, that is like working or not. Okay, so just to evaluate it. Okay, and then it's working, but see there are we are getting the array, but as array input, but we are like writing as in object. So what we have to do, we have to use the map function basically. So map is is for like array. If we are getting the input as a array, that time you can use as a map operator. So what I can do, payload map. Okay, let's say item comma index, and then here. Uh, so basically, I have to change this one now. Item, 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 and item. Okay. So let me debug it again. Debug. So did you understand like map operator, right? Like map is basically whenever we have a like array input, that time we can use as a map. To me, let's deploy that application. Okay, my application got deployed. My request comes here. Let me move further. I got the data from input file. Let me see my script is running or not. Okay, so if you see now, we have two records. I got that employee ID, employee name, employee address, and employee email. I'm getting then. Okay, one second. ID, name, address, ID, name. So address is basically I am getting email. Okay, let me check. ID, name, salary. Okay, I one second. Let me do some changes in my input file. Open with notepad. Okay, so basically this is my ID, this is name, and salary I have to define, right? So 5,000 is the salary, then Pune is my address and this email ID. For the second record, again let's say 10,000 the salary, and then Pune, let's me change as a like Hyderabad, okay, and my email address this one. Let me save it. Okay, one second. Let, okay, let me check if it's saved successfully or not. Okay, so ID name, no, it's not saved. Okay, cancel it, don't save here to me. So now it's saved. Okay, and now let me run it again. Let I am debugging it. Let's wait for my application to be deployed. Okay, my application got deployed. It's running. Let me move to next. If you see, I got the name, ID, name, salary, address, and email ID. Let me check I'm getting all the records or not in the script. So just here. Now, if you see employee ID, employee name, address, and email ID, I got it for same both records. Now I'm going to write the file into uh, CSV as a CSV. So if you see my CSV file name as a details.csv, and the location, if you see, that downloads output folder. Let me move next. Okay, so my application return the to the CSV file on the particular location, and if you see here, start job, then file read successfully. If you want, then we can add one more logger here as a like file data written double C successfully into output folder to or successful data written successfully. Okay, if we see to the output folder, you got this file, right? Let me open it. So basically, okay, this the JSON it's returning. Okay, what we can do, I need actually in a row, right? So what I can do, let me show you. So in the transform message, basically here you have to mention header equal to true. Okay, and second, so if you see here the same thing, like we need a separator. Okay, and this one also we required. Let me put it here. Okay, so the input is the application CSV separator, and then output is application CSV, and then separator is like comma separated value which I'm using, right? Let me debug again. So basically, if you see here, I have write mode I have used as a override. That means like whatever file is already generated in this output folder, this file will be going to overwritten when my application runs successfully. So it's application deployed, and then I'm going to move. Okay. Okay. So here, what the issue exception was found writing to file. Okay. Okay. 1 second. So I need to change as a colon. Let me check what the issue. Here, same thing. I have used. Okay. Right. Employee .csv payload overwritten true, right? Okay. So let me go next. So this is the CSV file generated out CSV output, and now I'm going to write into the. Okay, again filling. Okay. So it was previously generated as a JSON, right? Here, if you see here, it was JSON file format. That's why it's not appending. So what I need to do, I need to delete from output folder and let me run it again. The application is deploying. Okay. So let me move next file. Data written into CSV. So if you see here, the header is changed, the employee ID, employee name, employee address, and employee email. But what we were using in the input file, if you see in the input file, there is the like ID, name, salary, address, employee. So this is what like in the transformation message which I have used. Let me, so file written successfully, and see. So let me show you the log first. So if you see here, start job, then file read successfully and data written successfully. Okay, let me go to the output folder. If you see here, so see, now it's coming in the as a row wise: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and employee email. Okay, so this is how like we can do read and write CSV file from input to output folder. So for this, in this video, I'm wrapping up here. For the next operation, which I'm going to cover into the next mm, like next video basically. So in next video I'll show you like how to use the move operation, how to copy, how to delete the file. Okay. So thank you so much. Thanks everyone.